Hello, everyone. Welcome to our event today. We are the Tea and Chat Author Talk podcast slash recording, and it is hosted by A Cup of Tea with That Book, Please, a blog website full of book reviews and recommendations related to news reports, original writing, and of course, tea. My name is Whitney, and I'm here with Tabrija, creator of Cup of Tea with That Book, Please. We will be in conversation with our very special guest, Vincent Tirado, author of You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. And we just want to give a huge thank you to all of our viewers and folks who will tune in later. You could be doing a number of things, but you are here with us right now, or will be viewing in the future, for our author event. Next slide. So just some housekeeping rules because we do have folks listening in. We are on Zoom, and we just ask that if you are not speaking, keep yourself muted. We love to hear all of the kudos and comments and questions in the chat, so feel free to utilize that feature. Um, your camera is also optional, but you will always see our lovely faces. And excuse me. Um, if you want to add some additional reactions, you can hit the reactions with the emoji. So we get like hand claps, bugles, everything. And if you have trouble following along with anything that we are saying today, we do have live closed captions. And if you need to leave for whatever reason, you could just hit that person walking out the door. Don't let the door hit you where the sun don't shine. Next slide. And tune in to our podcast. Tabrish and I also collaborate with a couple of our friends for the Fake Book Club podcast. And you can listen to wherever it is you get your podcasts. So Spotify, YouTube, and Pandora, thanks to my mom. And she's a huge Pandora person. And it's full of books, recommendations, pop culture, and my personal favorite, K-pop, because I'm always talking about it. So again, you can tune in at anywhere you get your podcasts, but also follow us at Fake Book Fake Book Club Podcast.wordpress.com. And with that, I will turn it over to Tabrija to introduce our guest for today. Take it away, Tabrija.
Thank you, Whitney, and hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Tarisha, and I am the creator of Cup of Tea with That Book, Please. And I have the extreme pleasure of welcoming Vincent Tirado onto our YouTube and our podcast show. Vincent is a great friend of ours, and we're so glad that they are taking time out of their schedule to join us to talk about their latest book, You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. I love this title. That's first. This is probably one of my favorite titles ever.
As as a mama's, like, for lack of better phrasing, girl, because I use they them pronouns, but as a mama's girl, I 100% and an only child, my mother's only child, I 100% relate to this title, by the way.
You guys, by the way, you guys are super fast on getting my Threads account up there because I just made Threads yesterday. Like that was yesterday that I made Threads. Damn, y'all,
And,
y'all
and
caught that
you
fast.
know how I knew that? I got a notification from Threads saying, "Hey, you automatically follow Vincent Tirado." I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because I was like, I'm never getting on Threads, and then Blue Sky wasn't working, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm getting on Threads. Damn.
I have not made it to either platform. So even I have
Don't
Instagram. I'm still on Twitter, but that's because
that.
a lot of my
Yeah,
fandom stuff is on
fair. I think a lot of
on
fandom
there.
has stayed on Twitter for sure.
It was much easier, but yeah, we have all three: Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Um, so yes, let me give a short bio of our special guest. So Vincent Tirado is a non-binary Afro-Dominican born and raised in the Bronx, Bronx people in the house. They are a Pura Belpré Award winner, a Bram Stoker and Lambda Literary Award finalist, known for their books Burn Down, Rise Up, that came out in 2022, We Don't Swim Here, which came out in 2023, and their adult debut novel, We Came to Welcome You, that came out in 2024. And their sophomore adult novel, You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom, came out this year. When they're not writing new spine chilling horrors, they can be found making another pot of coffee and harassing their cat, Bugsy. Definitely can understand that or the cat harassing you. I feel like that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
So, congratulations on your sophomore novel, You Should Have Been Nicer to Your Mom. So, for those who have not had a chance to read the book, could you give us a brief synopsis of the book?
Sure. So You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom follows a young Dominican woman, Xiomara, who comes back home for the reading of a will after her grandfather passes away. And while at home, she has to deal with a number of her family members who she does not really get along with because they always had this tumultuous relationship with her own mother, who has already been deceased by this point in the book. When it's time for the reading of the will, instead of any of them being told what they've inherited, they're given a last warning by the grandfather saying that if one of you is not who you say you are, one of you is the demon that I made a pact with, you have a certain amount of time to find out who it is and get rid of him, or you will all be damned. And everyone immediately is thinking, that can't be the real will. We'll find the recent the previous will. Whereas Yomada is just like, am I the only one taking this seriously? And as she starts looking for clues on who might be the demon, she also finds extra clues that someone was responsible for her mother's death. So who knows if she's interested in saving her family members and, if she wants to be their downfall. Well, you'll have to find out yourself if you haven't picked it up yet.
Go. Oh, you okay? Yeah. So after meeting her family, I'm shocked that she stayed that long because I would have been just out. I'd be like, you
She
know
took
what?
an Uber. She didn't drive.
We tell you in 2026, you telling me that, hey, I can't find a signal to Uber, and just like
Her phone was working and she's rich, so she could have paid that storm premium price.
Yeah, but she wanted to she's like, this is, my grandfather's last will. I got to figure it out for his sake. And then at some point it's like, oh, I'm on a revenge mission. Like you're
Yeah.
telling me that you wouldn't be on a revenge mission if you were in
Oh,
her position?
100%.
I would be on a
100%.
revenge mission from my house.
Absolutely not. I would have taken revenge. I would have been, because like that is kind of where it is. I'm like, yeah, I'm over my mom 100%.
Yeah.
True.
100%
But
axe
when you say
murdering.
there's a demon there, I'm like, okay, I'm
Well,
gonna
I
take
know.
revenge on all of you from my house. Okay, just
Is that
be aware of that.
I don't do ghosts, but I'm like demons.
No. Mm-mm.
No. Well, I
I
don't
don't
do.
do I don't do ghosts. I feel like there's a ghost at my workplace, and I have told my coworkers if I see anything else move, I will shout out and say like, okay, you can have the branch and just leave. I
At
will
your
go.
current workplace or your
Yes.
previous one?
Well,
Okay.
both.
Well,
Both.
yeah, no, I think I like that change because for me the lack of urgency was a little bit frustrating on my end, but then it's like, oh yeah, get it. Like I love revenge.
Yeah.
I love revenge stories like John Wick and Taken are like just two of my
You
favorite
gotta get
ones.
revenge.
You
Having
have
grace is
to.
overrated. Like, for why? For
No.
why?
And then I'm a fire sign at that, so it's like extra. I gotta take
I am
it.
I am extremely petty. I am
Exactly.
extremely
Exactly.
petty. Like,
I'm like, no, we're taking it. It's
yeah.
no, we're 100% agree. And I think that's a great segue into our next question because your dedication page does does kind of allude to the title. So, and I want the chismosa. I want the tea. So, considering your dedication page, how did this story come about?
So I come from a very large Dominican family. We are nowhere near as rich as this family is. That was wishful thinking on my end. I was like, you know what? I could handle the drama if we were rich enough for it, but we're not. So it just feels like I'm going through drama for no reason, like pay me first. But I come from a very large and very dramatic family, and a lot of my extended relatives, like aunts and uncles and some cousins, just seemingly have it out for my mom because they say that she was my grandmother's favorite, right? And so they were always like, there was always a back and forth with them. Recently, actually, my grandmother did pass away back in November. And ever since then, it's just been endless bickering over grandma's houses in DR. And it's just, it really feels like art imitates life, because why are we now dealing with this with, whoa, we needed to find out what we inherited. I was like, okay, you're about to inherit a brick to the head if you keep it up. So it's the dedication, for anyone who hasn't read it, is literally just the same as the title. You should have been nicer to my mom, and it's dedicated to my extended relatives. um yeah, I felt like when writing this book, I came at it with this feeling of, you know what, I am not hating enough, actually. Like, Kendrick Lamar did all this and went to the Super Bowl with it. Clearly, I need to write an entire book about my family. I'm not hating enough. I'm not hating enough. And that is how this book was born.
I 100% am like not living my hateration and pettiness to its full
Right,
potential.
right.
But then I'm also just like, I also have bills because most of my hateration, like a lot of my hateration and like pettiness is just me rage quitting and moving back upstate to live with my mom. And I can't do that right now. I'm like trying to, but yes,
Yeah.
if I had FU money, it'd be pettiness
Right,
to
right.
the
The pettiness.
to the nth degree. I'd be like, nope, we're not doing that.
Right.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if I think I'm more of like a plan. I am like a planner type of person. I would like freak out if something like gets out of order. So I think that's why I'm saying like, because and with what you were saying, Vincent, because my grandmother also passed away in late May, and with both of my grandparents gone, there also has been like a lot of turmoil, like wondering what to do with their house and stuff. And then there are sometimes I listen to my family like, oh my God, are you guys really seriously talking about this? This should have been down the line. So, but I don't know. It's like for me, I guess I'm a slow burn kind of like revenge type of person. I would just slowly build up. I like a good revenge story, but I also like a revenge story that slowly builds to it until like, the culmination kind of end kind of thing. And I think this is what this book kind of builds up to. Is like it's slowly plotting it and then in there, but then and just like it releases it at the end. So I think that would be the type of person I would be. Um, but that's but also I liked how you depict the craziness of a Caribbean family. And I really tried it. I was like, thank you, Vincent, for pulling this in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
It's
don't think
almost comedic. Like it's almost funny. If it wasn't real, it would just be funny. But it's too real, and it's like, okay, why are we like this?
exactly. It's like because there are times and then like I'm sitting there with family gatherings and I'm listening to them like I don't think my friends know that this is why I'm the way I am because you guys are all crazy.
Yeah.
You're all nuts and crazy. Um, but in this book, like you should have been nicer to my mom. You talk about there's the grandfather he mentions the deal that he makes. the Elbaka. That I'm pronouncing it right.
Oh, excuse me.
Elbaka?
Sneezed.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah, Elbaka. Okay. So is Elbaka a creature or myth that you heard about when you grew up, or if
I
not?
wish my family my family grew up extremely Christian, so they know nothing about Dominican myths. So I did have to like do a little bit of research on like different like, Dominican mythology. And so El Vaca is like depending on where on the island you're, from, El Baka is either a demon or more of this household spirit. In that you summon it and tie it to like whatever your possessions are. It's supposed to be used as like something to protect your house, your land. Like it's supposed to be something to protect you and yours. And when, the person who summoned the spirit or demon, when they pass away, that spirit does not go away. It doesn't immediately like just go off by itself. It now that power transfers to the next of kin. So now it's sort of like the demon is almost like an inheritance in itself, which is kind of like why it made sense for it to be sort of included in this inheritance package of like figure out who the demon is because it's coming after you. Um, yeah, that's how I felt like I needed to put something that was like much more culturally appropriate for this inheritance story, and that just happened to fit the bill.
Were there other demons that you were tempted to write about? Or like not demons, but like other creatures that you were tempted to write about? Or was this one just so perfect for the story?
This one was just really, really perfect, I think. Yeah, that was just how I decided to go with it.
We have like another like creature question now that we're talking about creatures. Do you consider monsters like Godzilla, vampires, werewolves, and ghosts and spirits, ghosts slash spirits, maybe also ghouls, to be different or kind of under like the same supernatural umbrella? And what are your general thoughts on demons and zombies?
So I look at it in like there's this general, like extremely general supernatural umbrella. Like just everything that is not human kind of like goes under there, right? And you can then continue to like categorize every part of it. So there's like the undead, which zombies and vampires would be there, but not exactly werewolves. Werewolves aren't undead, so they're like a different type of creature. Werewolves and shapeshifters are like a similar type of creature, so whatever you would consider them is that. Ghouls, I think, would technically be undead, so they would go with the vampires and zombies. Ghosts, while they are technically undead, they are incorporeal, so I think that's like a completely different sort of like category. Demons are an interesting. Demons are such an interesting like kind of creature because they could be corporeal, they could have a body. They could also be incorporeal, where, they're more of a spirit rather than like a physical being. I don't know. I guess it would really depend on like the little nuances of like, okay, like is the demon currently existing in a body? If so, that's a possession. If not, then like, oh, are they more of a spirit in this way? Like how are they getting around? I think you would have to answer that question based off the little nuances.
Yeah, because I always thought when I try to like compare demons, I'm like, okay, what kind of demons are you talking about? Are you talking about the demons, how they were portrayed in Charmed, or the demons that you see? Like,
There's
are we
charm
talking
demons, there's supernatural demons, which are
exactly?
like definitely more biblical demons. Like,
Yeah, or Buffy the Vampire Demons, or Hellboy demon, like it could.
right, right. Like
And
it's
then
depending on like the IP, it really changes how you feel about the demons.
exactly, and then like with the ghosts and the spirits, I'm like, okay, how how nice are the ghosts? Are we talking about Casper, the friendly ghost, or are we talking about, a ghost like taking a possession of of someone and just trying to like walk around, but also are they friendly ghosts or just like jumping from one body to another kind of thing?
Right.
What you look like you were going to say something, Whitney.
That is such an interesting, like, yes, it's all under like the supernatural umbrella, but I don't know why I didn't think about like the undead body versus no body of it all. Because I always thought ghouls were technically like ghosts with bodies or like more garish, but no, that all makes sense actually. I could talk about demons and ghosts. I don't play about ghosts in my house, even though
No.
but I
Uh,
do because they don't pay rent and the rent is
oh
expensive.
my God. Try to argue that with a ghost. I dare you.
Man, listen, any creature that comes up in here better come up in here with some money, okay? Um,
And
no,
you
but
better keep that argument as they are dragging you to hell or to purgatory.
that is actually a really good movie. If you haven't watched it, you should.
That
Uh,
was a really good movie, yeah.
it- well, I was just not expecting that ending of, is it spoiler if it came out like over 5 years ago?
I feel like people should have had enough time to watch it.
But no,
Otherwise, they
she,
can like pause and then return after watching it. But like,
I,
yeah,
yeah, like no, she literally gets dragged to hell. You're just like, oh.
yeah,
There is no there is no escaping it um
yeah.
or anything. I'm a slight pivot, but kind of in the vein of creatures. I am a huge fan of Jeepers Creepers, and the jump
Oh,
is
same.
that Justin Long is in Drag Me to Hell. And
Yeah,
he's also
yeah.
in the first
I
Jeepers
did. I
Creepers.
also really love Jeepers Creepers. I didn't like the new one that they did. I was like, we didn't learn anything new here, like at all. The only cool scene was when everyone was hiding under cars. I felt like that was a good like scene to get your heart racing because of the tension of it all. But beyond that, I was like, we learned absolutely nothing. Just there was nothing to learn here. It was clunky in the beginning. Like, what was the point? You were clearly working off nostalgia that isn't really there, mind you, because very few people know what Jeepers Creepers is. But I could go on and on. That's not what this
Yes.
podcast is about.
That's as a primordial being, and that is a whole other creature feature
Right.
conversation. But I'll toss it over to Dereja for our next question. Thank you. I wanted to know your thoughts on that, obviously.
um, so let's talk more about like the monster, but the horror stories you've written. So you've written a variety of horror stories from a monster, like in Burn Down, Rise Up, to a demon with this latest book. Like, which is your favorite, would you say is your favorite horror subgenre to write?
Ooh, favorite horror subgenre. I Okay, I don't think this qualifies as horror subgenre as something that I've written before, but it is just my favorite to interact with. I really love creature features. I love seeing that there's just this little guy who's also very deadly. Like I love that. I genuinely I think it comes from so I come from a like a biological background. Like I went to school for biology, went into like got a master's degree in bioethics. I like the idea of there's just some sort of creature that was, that evolution came up with and we have no name for, and it is the deadliest motherfucker out there, and like we have no way of. I just like the idea of that, I think. Like I truly do like seeing like new creatures that we could never have conceived of before. But clearly, I mean, it's the apex predator of whatever, wherever the fuck it's living in. Like, nope. I mean, who? No one was coming after that. Like you had to try real fucking hard to get that to get that creature like to die. Like that's hard. That was hard as hell.
Can I say that I still don't know what that creature I still don't know what that creature. I mean, like I
It
know
was
it's
an alien.
It's an
obviously it
alien,
was an
yeah.
Alien.
alien, but it was just like, oh,
I I like the fact that the alien is sort of it's not a traditional alien in that in
Hmm.
all the
Yeah,
other alien movies we see, these aliens are intelligent. You're capable of like sort of interacting with it like on a I guess almost intelligent level. This is more like a creature that is alien to us, but is
hmm
not something we can actually reason with. Like it's more of an animal than it is alien. And like that I like the fact that he kind of explores like what if an alien is something you can't reason with because it's more like an animal, like it has
right.
animal instincts rather than like human intelligence or even alien intelligence.
Like an animal that you can't control. It was
Yeah,
like, and that was like how with the not the beginning, but how with the chimp
yeah,
when he went
Yeah,
crazy, it's like because
yeah,
they couldn't really control it, he just went out of
yeah.
control. And even though I thought it was something with the what's that jean jacket, I'm gonna say jean
yeah,
jean
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah, I keep forgetting
uh
that's what they named him.
yeah.
Jean jacket, I thought it was like somehow tied in with the chimp, but it wasn't. And I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh, it had no kind of tie within whatsoever. It's just
what do
like
you
the chimp.
what do you mean like no ties?
Like, no, because I originally thought that the jean jacket was like somehow controlling the chimp to make it go out of
Oh
control.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
what you
because
mean. Okay.
because and then also because I think that's what Jordan Peele was trying to like trying to get people to think, but it was not that way at all because it was like with the horses too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because you thought like, oh, the horses are going crazy because Jean Jacket is
yeah.
doing it's like, no, it's because the
It's
horses know that there's something coming and
Yeah.
yeah,
is trying to get away
yeah.
from it. Yeah.
It's this like insistence that I think we as humans have with charismatic creatures. That's what like
hmm
certain animals are called. They're like charismatic because we tend to like them. In that, I mean, in early in that scene where the guy's like, "Oh yeah, just tell the horse to not do this," and it's just like, "Tell the horse? Like, you think the horse fucking knows words? Are you stupid?" Like, it's it's a very human insistence to be like, "Yeah, like we can reason with these animals." Like, no, you can't. You have the reasoning of a human being. These animals do not. So you need to take on the responsibility and act accordingly. And it's a theme that is like consistent with not just the chimp in the beginning, but with the horses when he's like trying to like have the horse be in front of a camera, and like again with this alien because now we have I forgot this guy's name, Stephen Yoon out here being a dumbass, like, oh, I'm chosen by this creature. No, you're not. No, you know nothing of what this creature is capable of. Like, it's this kind of consistent like idea of like, oh, we have this special connection. You do not. You simply do not. I don't know who lied to you, but you do not have that special connection.
Not with no, not with a wild animal,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Again, I could go on and on about media. That's-
No, we have some time, so it's
yeah.
fine. I kind of wanted to say I went to the Whitney Museum last week, and there is an exhibit or like an installation there where you are meant to like lie on the ground, kind of planetarium style, and just watch this video of a bunch of like different trash bags and like flyers and paper kind of whirl around. And it reminded me so much of when everyone and everything was getting sucked up into Jean Jacket. I was just like, this is, and then there was like this jarring, like, for lack of better phrasing, like monk music, but more severe, that kind of like,
Like Gregorian chanting.
yeah,
Okay.
but more like more severe in a it discombobulates you kind of way. And so you're
Hmm.
watching this video of all of this trash circling being sucked up and whirled around with the music of like the chanting and this ominous feeling. So that entire so for you, Vincent, if you come to the city anytime soon, or for like folks who watch this later or listen to it later and it's still up because I believe it's part of the biennial exhibit, definitely check it out because that whole thing like reminded me very much of Nope, and like that sense of dread and like but you can't see what's happening. You don't know you don't know what's impending, similar to the horses. And so that's kind of funny that we started talking about Nope because that's very much like a great example of that feeling, but obviously you're not gonna get really sucked up into but
Yes.
you should definitely check everyone should check out that exhibit if you've seen Nope and you enjoyed it. But we're gonna talk more about scary movies, but a different scary movie. Because one of the last times that we saw each other, we went to see The Blackening, which is on Netflix right now. Not to like uh do an advert unintentionally, but it's um The Blackening and uh but what other scary movies have you seen since then, and what would you recommend and or what would you skip?
Okay. I think I would. Okay, so caveat with this one. I really enjoyed Undertone. Do not watch that if you're pregnant. It will freak you out. Don't, and that's not in a, oh, there's body horror sort of way. It's because there's a specific kind of demon that goes after pregnant people. So if you're pregnant, don't watch it. You will get paranoid. But if you're not pregnant and have no chance of being pregnant, like feel free to have at it. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun and well, I say fun about like all horror movies. All horror movies are fun to me. So like that may not mean the same to you as it does to me. But it is I find it very the way that they sort of experiment with sound design in the horror is very unique because the premise is this young woman who does a horror podcast where she and her friend are hosting the podcast and they sort of have a Shane Mendez, Ryan Bergara like kind of shtick going on where one of them is the believer in all things spooky and the other one is like more of a skeptic. And so they get all these stories from online or from other people and they talk about it and they in this movie they get a series of recordings from someone with very little context. They know nothing about this person or what the recording is of, so they just kind of like slowly listen to the recordings, and soon enough you realize that whatever's happening on the recordings is happening to that young woman like as she's going through it. So it's very spooky, and the sound design is wonderful, especially because it's about podcasts and podcast and sound design is everything in podcasts. But again, if you are pregnant, I would skip this one. Just don't wait until after you give birth, or maybe 18 years after you've have already given birth. Just in case. Um, yeah, it's a good one, but it can freak you out if you feel like you have too much in common with the victims.
So you recommend, except for unless you're pregnant, everyone go see Undertone. Was there
Mhm.
anything in the past couple years that you saw where you're like, this could have been an email? Like, this could have been like the
I
movie version of this could have been an email.
I remember watching, I've no one throw eggs at me for saying this, okay? This is my opinion. I am correct in my opinion. However, so I watched Skinamarink believing the hype of like, oh, it's very creepy, there's a lot of dread. Mind you, I watched this high on edibles. I had a couple edibles and I was like, yeah, let's like turn up the dread to like, up to 11. I watched that entire thing and when it was over, I was like, is that it? Like that was it? What was there was maybe one freaky part of it that did like maybe unsettle me a little bit, and that it just but otherwise everything up to and after that I was just kind of like, okay, is something gonna happen now? And I fear people will take this as me saying like, oh, I want something to happen, as in like, oh, I want a slasher to come out of nowhere. That's not what I'm saying. I just felt like so much of the movie was just the vibe of, being home alone or whatever as a very young child. It's just the vibe of it. There's not an actual story component being told. So if you're unaware, Skinamarink is about these two children, very young children. I don't know how old they are, but they're extremely young. And one day while they're left home alone, all the doors and windows just disappear. So there's no way to get outside, right? And these are very young children, so they don't know what the hell's going on. They're just kind of like, okay, this is happening, I guess. And then there's like a voice that starts talking to them and saying things. Beyond that, though, I like it just, I don't know, it wasn't enough for me. I was like, okay, this is a freaky thing, but because these two children aren't capable of reasoning with each other or the voice, like it just kind of fell flat for me. I was like, I'm not really nervous or scared in any sort of way. This is just this was a waste of an edible. This was a waste of it. I could have used this edible on something else.
No, that is valid. That's how I feel, how you felt about Skinamarink. I felt about weapons. I
Really?
I watched it, I think like not on an edible, on nothing. So maybe I needed to have. Um, I watched it and I understand why people like it, but it just wasn't for for me. I feel like I don't know how to properly articulate it, but I watched it and by the end I was like, that's it? Like I liked the forebodingness of it and it wasn't terrible, but I just wasn't understanding like the hype behind it. And maybe it's because Jordan Peele could have did it better. I,
When I read that he was like in the bidding for it and then lost the bidding, I was like, oof, oof, big oof. Sorry, my guy. That's can't win them all.
can't now I'm like, well, what could have been? Because but I it's hard for me to connect with like scary kids. I'm like that's kind of like a hard limit for me for
I
Fair.
don't deal
horror.
with demon children. No, no, no. I don't deal with that. Anything
Well,
that
there
deals
he's
with a
not a
demon child.
demon child. It's just more
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a witch comes to town basically
yeah.
and terrorizes all of these children so she can
She
and
doesn't even terrorize all the children. She terrorizes one
one
child and
child.
like
But
makes
like
him help her disappear his classmates. Like
yeah,
it's
and like suck their life for like so she can stay young basically. She
and it
wasn't
didn't even
Oh,
work. Didn't
didn't
even
even
work.
work. I yeah,
so
and
it's like Hansel and Gretel kind of thing. It's like you.
Oh shoot, I know there was a movie that the Hansel. Damn, I need to look that up. I know that
Yeah.
they did make a Hansel and
like
Gretel movie in the recent years, but I don't remember watching it. I gotta look that up.
I only know the one with Gemma Allerton
Oh,
and
and
what's his face
Chris.
Hawkeye from Disney from Avengers. That's the only
Oh,
one I
Chris.
know. No,
Oh no.
it's not a Chris. Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Thank
Jeremy
you. Yeah.
Renner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's the
Yeah.
only one I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically I think the children act well the one child like acting was fine, but I was definitely expecting more based on like the hype and it to be a little bit more scary. It was just very atmospheric versus instead of
I
like
liked Barbarian more than Weapons.
yeah.
Um, but like because I watched Barbarian, I went into Weapons with no expectations because I knew I
Mhm.
was not going to be able to tell what was going to happen at any point, and I was correct. I could not tell what was going to happen at any point. It was still a great movie, but I think I just preferred Barbarian.
Is Barbarian the one at the Airbnb?
Yeah,
Yes.
And
yeah,
Yes.
Justin Long is in it? Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Low key, the king of horror.
yeah.
Yes.
He really is in a bunch of like horror projects for someone who's like very unassuming, like, most of the time.
And I feel like that's probably why I'm more used to seeing him in other than in Jeepers Creepers, I'm more used to seeing him in like his comedic stuff. So like
Yeah.
Waiting or Zack and Miri. Zack and Miri Make a Porno is actually one of my favorites.
And you think it was
Okay.
in one where it was like not a retelling of Dracula, but like kind of in the same universe because it dealt with like Dracula's brides because he started with his wife, Kate Bosworth, and
He's
she
married
was
to Kate Bosworth? When did that happen?
yeah, I don't know,
Look,
but they're married.
The last time I heard Kate Bosworth, she was still dating Orlando Bloom. Orlando
Yeah,
Bloom. So,
well,
like,
that's
that is the
over.
last time. And obviously, like, he's had two baby mamas since then. So I'm like,
Oh my
well,
God.
that is, yeah, but I didn't know. Well, you learn something new every day. Tabrisha, I'm gonna toss it to you for the next question. We're just giggling about you,
Yes.
but I hope you're having a good time, Vincent.
I for sure am.
Um, so for our next question, so we dived into the horror genre. Is there a genre that you would like to write about, but you haven't so yet?
Within the horror genre, I think it would be the same as my last answer, a creature feature. I want to come up with like a fucked up, little creature guy and see what kind of terror it can bring upon like a small town or even like an apartment building or something. I've always had this idea of an apartment building where the elevator is actually a mouth. Um, and maybe one day that'll be my creature feature. And in doing so, many New Yorkers will hunt me for sport. But I
Why? Is it just like
I'm
the
envisioning a subway station when they said that. When they said like, oh, a mouth like as a door, I was like, oh, maybe a subway. Like, I don't know,
no,
kids.
no. I just know that a lot of people after reading Burn Down, Rise Up became very afraid of riding the subway, even though they weren't even doing it at 3 a.m. I was like, you guys are safe. You're not doing it like, late at night or anything. It's fine. But they're like, no, I'm too nervous. I'm like, okay, I can't help you there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I feel
please.
like that's low key a
They didn't need
kudos
to
to
read
you.
well that, but also they didn't need that book to give them reason why they shouldn't ride the subway
I
at
mean,
3
it doesn't help for sure.
There are other scary things happening 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a subway.
Look, I mean, whatever. I live on the 2 line, and every time I have to pass through Zombie Central, aka 125th Street, I'm like, please, Lord. This morning, and I know we're getting off on some tangents. I was on my way into the office, and this man just got on the train, and just started like snapping at people. And there was a time where he stopped in front of me and all he was doing was like snapping. And I was just like, I was like dead gaze averted. I was just like, please leave me alone. But luckily he moved on. But like, yeah, I do not need, need,
That's
need
genuinely crazy.
I'm like,
See,
yeah, no.
that's a reason why not to ride the
That's
subway.
not exactly scary. That's just more annoying than anything.
Yeah. Well, as long as they keep their hands to themselves,
True.
I don't want to
Yeah.
have to fight anybody on my way.
Exactly, because he could have just been doing that to just like get a rise out of people. And then it would just cause a huge brawl and you would be late for work and then you would have to, be stay there to be investigated by the police. It was just a hassle you
And this
wouldn't
is
need.
how I know I'm not using my hateration and pettiness to its full potential. Let's talk more about your craft as a writer. Can you talk a little bit about your writing process? And do you plan out the story, or do you write more free form and like let your characters and plot take you where it needs to go?
Absolutely not. I have to plot out everything. I don't understand people who can do that. Like I like to write according to a theme, and I don't know what the theme is unless I have it written out beforehand. Like, oh, the theme is this. So how do I, flesh out this theme through like these people and the situation they're in? Like I have to write everything out from start to finish. Otherwise, I'm gonna be lost the entire time.
Do you start, do you have like the ending in mind and work your way backwards, or do you like plot like sequentially?
I never have the ending in mind. And oftentimes there are times when I have to rewrite the endings because it doesn't feel like it fits well enough or it doesn't feel satisfying enough. I have a better idea of like the beginning. I have a decent idea of the middle, but when it comes to the end, I'm as much in the dark as anybody else who's reading it for the first time.
It as as no spoilery as you can muster, was the ending for You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom your original ending, or did it start off as something different and then kind of come to what it is now?
Actually, no, that was the original ending. It did take me a while to like realize what the ending should be. Like I was concerned about like, okay, like what would be a satisfying end to all of this? And when I thought of like this ending, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. There's no other way this could possibly end. It has to be like this.
And you're just 100% satisfied, and it's just like everything you
Yeah.
ever dreamed of.
Yeah,
Amazing.
because my first two books, they're YA, and
Mhm.
so I have this habit of wanting to do sort of like an epilogue where I say, and here's how everything turned out after the fact. With my adult book, We Came to Welcome You, I rewrote that ending 3 times because I had the habit of writing an epilogue, but I didn't feel like the epilogue I was writing for that one fit the overall tone of the book. It felt too much like I was writing it with a YA mindset on, and I was like, this is an adult. It doesn't have to do the same thing a YA does. And so by the time I got here, I was like fully in the mindset of like, okay, I'm writing an adult horror. What would be an okay ending for an adult horror? Like this was a fine. I could not write an ending like this for YA. I think many people will be upset with me if I tried. So I think keeping in mind like your audience is like a major thing you kind of have to do as an author, especially when you're writing horror. You have to keep in mind like how people will react to it, whether it fits the overall tone of the book or like how responsible do you want to be for certain people's mindsets afterwards.
Do you? Oh, go ahead, Sabrina.
Well, no, because they mentioned the YA horror and the adult horror. So it just started this question. Like, do you feel that you have to be like, how is your writing different when you're writing for like the plotting for a YA horror compared to an adult horror?
So for the ending of a YA horror, I have to make it somewhat hopeful because these are kids that I'm talking to, and I don't want to leave them with a horrifying ending. I think part of it comes from the fact that, like, when I was a teen and I read all sorts of YA stuff, none of them ever ended badly. Like, things could have been mildly bittersweet, like that could have been fine, but like there had to be something good about the ending that like kind of closes it all out. Whereas with an adult, you can kind of run the gamut. You can have a shitty ending. You can have like an extremely bitter ending. You can have a very abrupt ending. Like you can really do whatever you want because as an adult, you are able to kind of process it a little bit better. Like I think oh my God. Technically, okay. So this one book I remember, Between Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I think it also became a Netflix show. Uh, I read that book. The ending does not end well for the protagonist. It does not, but it was good. It was satisfying. It was the twist itself was like insane to me. So I was like, you know what, this is great. Like for an adult, like yeah, I can process that much better because if I'm being honest, I was not rooting for that bitch anyways. Like you can't be fucking a married man. I'm sorry. Like you're not a good person if you keep fucking a married man. We're not neither here nor there, but like that sort of ending where it didn't end well for her, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This is totally fine with me. You could not do the same thing with a YA. Like there's never been a single YA novel that ends badly and like that's just it. Like you got to figure it out. Like I've never come across something like that before.
I think because Tabrija and I are both like teen librarians, and we do occasionally read YA as a requirement of the work that we do. And it's so funny that so many teens, actually a teen commented today that like YA is so fluffy. Um, and to your point, that makes 100% sense. And then that's why a lot of them, especially like older teens, are reading more adult because they want that realistic ending, even if it is bad. So yeah, I think that pretty much tracks about having something that ends. Uh, our friend is in the comments like, I can't believe y'all are teen librarians. We are. Uh, um, and I think, yeah, they're reading like some pretty dark stuff, but also romantasy and like dark academia are becoming really popular across age groups, but especially with YA and with like the boom of book talk and like social media and kind of pushing that. So I don't really have a point, just more that's just kind of like a comment to
Yeah.
uh what you were what you were saying.
So I think they would gravitate towards this book because it ties in a lot, even though it's for adult, it ties in with a lot of stuff that they deal with, like a crazy family, a family being inconsiderate to a relative that they hold dear to their heart, a revenge
Mm,
thriller, a demon just coming out of nowhere, and I think they just I could see my definitely an older teen, but I could recommend this to a teen who has read all the horror in the YA and just like is ready to like step up a little bit and not necessarily read like, Stephen King or anything like that, but they
mm,
want something different to try out.
yeah.
And the main character, she's only what, 22, 23, I think.
Yeah, she just graduated from college,
Yeah,
so
so
Oh
just
yeah,
yeah,
graduated
early
from,
20s.
so not
definitely.
necessarily new adult, but it's still close. They're still close enough in age for at least for an older teen to still feel relatable as someone that's like
Yeah.
graduating high school or getting ready to leave high school, enter college or their next phase after
Yeah. Which, by the way,
secondary.
I cannot believe new adult is starting to become a thing because I remember when for years they're like, no, new adult will never be a thing.
Yeah.
It's just adults. And like now they're like, actually, we're now starting to open up submissions for new adult projects.
So
Like, okay, I see what happened. There was more money in new adult, wasn't there?
exactly. Because the
Yeah.
But now,
publishers were so against it. They were like, no, this is not a thing. New adult is not a genre. What are you talking about? Now all of a sudden it's like, oh
Yep.
yeah, I think we can make money off of this. Let's start let's start opening this up a little bit.
well, I mean,
Right.
now we have middle grade, you know what I mean? Which is like the tweens, like that 10 to 12-year-old genre.
And then
So
that's an entire top
that's a
entirely
whole
different topic because
conversation. We literally do not have time for that.
they're going through a
But
lot of shit
we
right
hope,
now.
Vincent, that you, not to pressure you, this isn't pressure, but I don't know if you ever wanted to write a middle grade, I would totally read it.
Oh, I already did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear from my agent to see if anyone's interested, but
You
like it's
heard
already
it.
out there. It's floating among the editors right now. So fingers crossed anything happens with it.
You
Oh,
heard it here first, folks, and Vincent Tirado exclusive. We are hopefully getting a middle grade horror mystery
I think
I
thriller.
would say horror comedy.
Horror,
oh,
ooh, my
love it.
favorite.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's in the same vein as like what we do in the shadows.
Ooh, e
Oh, I
even, oh,
love
I
that
love us.
show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You heard it here first, folks. We are getting a middle grade novel, and it's gonna be
Assuming
amazing.
someone buys it, like
I
you're not getting it
mean,
if no publisher buys it.
well,
Oh,
just
we're
let us
gonna
read it
put into the
anyway.
ether. We're gonna put good vibes, and hopefully, a publisher, will buy it. Yes,
Yes.
scholastically.
Put it
Scholastically.
in there. Put it in there. Um, so we have a couple more questions left, but I'm gonna return it over to Tabrisha, and she's gonna ask some get to know you. I mean, we feel like we have been getting to know you this whole time and even before, but these are just more some cute little this or that questions. So take it
Hmm.
over to Tabrisha.
So yes, and so I'm gonna give you this or that question, so you choose which one you prefer. So, paperback or hardback?
Hardback.
Yeah, I can see that. And also because it can be used as a weapon. Uh, Um, read one book at a time or multiple books at a time.
Oh, multiple books at a time.
Yeah, I do that all the time. And
Yeah.
Whitney, see, and Whitney, like, seriously, Whitney,
I don't have the attention span.
like,
If it's a manga, obviously I can breeze through it or a graphic novel.
If it's a manga,
I
amazing.
I can read so many different mangas at the same time.
I feel like that
But
doesn't count because the
reading,
manga.
I thought reading was reading to Regina.
No, 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 no. Multiple books at a time. Yeah, it counts. But you saying like if it's a manga, like of course, because you could finish a manga
Exactly.
in. Okay, you know what? Never mind. We can do this all day. Um, one POV or two or more POVs.
One POV.
I see that with all your books. Like you just like sticking to one.
I tend to stick to one if it just feels like it'll grab me more. Although my next project, not the middle grade one, but the paranormal romance that I mentioned to y'all, that won't be dual POV. But it's not going to be dual POV where it's like every chapter is going to be. I'm going to be splitting it into four. The whole book will be four parts. So it'll be first part one character, second part the other one, and then it'll flip back and forth. So you'll spend more time with the character than just like on a chapter to chapter basis, which I feel like can be a little bit confusing sometimes.
Okay. Well, that would be definitely interesting. Even though romance is our friend saying, ooh, a paranormal romance. Romance is not my go-to, but I will give it a try.
It's not really my go-to either. Like I like rom-coms. I do like rom-coms. I don't often pick up like paranormal romance. Actually, no, that's a lie. I read a lot of that when I was a kid. I think that it was because
Yeah.
it was YA. Like a lot of
Hmm.
YA had a romance element. So like I couldn't really avoid it. But yeah, I think I really gravitated towards it. Not for the romance, but for like everything else I really liked about it.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm just remembering there was a lot of paranormal romance as a
Oh my
teen.
God. I can't remember this one book series. Oh my God. It kind of pisses me off a little bit because it was sort of like an alien romance, but like in a really weird way. So it was this young girl, obviously a teenage girl there are these new kids in school that come and of course they're all hot or whatever because that's always how it goes. And apparently they were all aliens and for some
Roswell?
what?
Roswell?
I don't remember.
Was
Was it
Roswell a book before it was a
Yeah,
show?
it was.
what? Hold on. Now I gotta Roswell. I feel like if I look up Roswell book, it's just gonna give me about the. Yep, yeah, there it is. I don't. This is not. This is just
Uh,
giving 1980. Is that based off the 1980 book? Because I don't think that's
no,
the
it
one I'm
was,
talking
No.
about. Was YA. It was very
yeah.
specifically YA.
Roswell, I forget who was the
Let me see. Roswell.
writer. Oh, Melinda Metz.
Interesting. I don't think.
Roswell High. That's like the
Oh. No, no, no. It wasn't
oh,
because
okay.
that one's about like a guy and his sister, I think. And oh no, no,
Yeah,
no.
because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
It was something else, but like
it wasn't
uh
Animorphs, right?
yeah, that one's a very old. I don't remember, but like I remember that it was a YA and like there was this one girl who was the human girl really liked reviewing books. I remember that much about her.
Oh, okay.
She
No.
really liked
Okay.
reviewing books and like then like these cool hot kids come to school or whatever and for some reason or whatever, their weird alien particles rub off on her, and because they need to keep her safe, they're like hanging around her. But like the love interest was such a shithead. He was so annoying. Like he just kept acting like, oh, yeah, like he didn't really want to be around her, but was always like messing with her. And I was like, this is not a romance to me. Like I don't like having him neg you all the time. I kind of want you to kill him.
I
Like
have to look to figure what this book
I
series
got
is.
if I find out, but I remember fucking hating that shit. I was like, I don't know if I can. I finished the book. I could not tell you how it ended. I think I just kind of like I turned off my brain just to get to the end and shelved it and never looked back. I couldn't deal with it. I hate it when like the guy is like negging you. Like why? For what reason? That's not sexy. That's not romantic. Get out of my
Oh,
face.
I have to look at the figure out what this book is. Because when
Yeah,
you said
now
like aliens,
it's gonna drive us crazy now. It's like,
yeah.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
Is it
Like,
Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout?
let me see. Obsidian. What was her name again? What?
Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Jennifer. Great. This is not Obsidian YA novel. Was it this shit? Okay, let me. This is gonna piss me off if it's okay. Da da da. When we moved, etc., etc., etc. Huh. Hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think it was that.
A librarian will always figure it out.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. He was such a dickhead. He was such a
Like,
dickhead. Like, oh my God. Can't do
yeah,
it.
I was just like, I'm like, a librarian will always get it right.
Now
But
I just want to like read it and like read hate it.
There's like
That's what.
5 books of this. God
Oh
damn.
wow, that's a lot.
I can't. I can't.
oh my goodness. Uh, I think we have a couple more this or that for you.
Okay.
I'll do
Don't
three
do the
more.
dread. No, you're not gonna.
Yes,
Don't-
I am.
Oh my
Yes, I
goodness.
am.
Okay.
Because we need to have a vote tally. So this is very important, Vincent.
Okay.
So bookmarks or page corner fold.
Page corner pulls.
What is what?
A bookmark is something I can lose easily. A page corner, like it stays with the book. Like,
That
I'm
is
sorry.
that is 4 for 3, by the way.
I'm sorry. I lose bookmarks easily.
Do you need a book? I will ship bookmarks to you. I
You,
mean, we get so many bookmarks where I will ship
you,
them to you.
no, it's fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Oh my god.
This is this is the debate that we have.
Why?
Because she
Because
is pure evil. That's why.
I'm not pure evil. I think that I the book is the trees are already gone.
The
The
trees
poem
are already.
Exactly.
That is a diabolical way of looking at it.
the trees are
I'm just
old.
trying not to lose more things than I need to,
That
okay?
too.
That's a utility thing.
No. They have a very sound response to say, oh, they don't want to lose the bookmark. You are saying, oh, the tree is already
The
dead.
tree
How
is already
morbid.
gone.
How morbid.
Diabolical.
Look,
Exactly.
look. The tree, look. It was meant to be loved and to be used. I mean, I wouldn't do that to like if you either of you lent me a book, I wouldn't do it to your book, but my own personal
You better not
copy
do it to my
and
book.
sometimes a library copy, I'm not even gonna hold you. My own personal copy is gonna get those dog-eared folds. Like I'm not gonna apologize. It's mine. I bought it or got it for free from ALA. And I'm gonna do what I want with it. I did not corner fold your book though, Vincent. Just letting you know.
Okay. I mean, I would like if you did it, I would not care. It's fine. Like you're
And there you
using
go.
it. Yeah.
she corner fold a book right in front of me just to see it,
At
just
an
to get it
author
read.
signing too.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Thank you. See? Now
And not
Vincent
in
is back in my
front,
face.
but not in front of the author, and
Oh
she
my
still signed
God.
it.
But in front of the publisher who told her, no, stop doing that. Why are you
Mind
killing the
you,
book?
there's two of them there. We are getting in the weeds. We should wrap up. But mind you, there were two of them there. I was given a bookmark by one who thought I was being sacrilegious, but then the other book publisher rep was like, "Yeah, dog, you're a page. We don't care." So again, But
Moving
I'm
on.
glad you're on my side.
I mean, I guess, but like not because I don't care about books. I just don't want to lose things.
it's not that I don't care about books, it's my book.
It really sounds like that when you said the tree is already dead.
We should
Just
just
because.
stop making books then.
Oh my. Okay, now
Everyone just read on their phone or tablet.
we're gonna move on to the next one. Series or standalones?
Standalones. It's been way too long since I even really read a series, if I'm being honest. Like I think the last series I attempted was Divergent, and I stopped in the second book because at some point the girl was pissing me off. I was like, you lost me. I gotta go. I'm sorry.
100%. The only series, and that's because you're forced to do it, that I will ever follow is a manga series. If it's a book series, I'm like, if you can't tell this story, and this book is 400 pages, and I still have to read another installment. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Oh,
I
actually, no, I lied. That wasn't the last. Well, technically, yes, it was the last one I attempted to read. But the true last series that I did finish reading was oh my God, it was an Alice in Wonderland retelling by a Black author, L.L. McKinney,
Oh,
Nightmareverse, I
Oh,
think. Yeah,
yeah.
that one was
I
truly
haven't
like the
heard
last one I did
of
read, and I did
those.
enjoy that one. I did really like that one.
I haven't heard LL Bikini for a while. She used to be like huge, and when the pay discrepancy and like the we need
Oh
diverse books
yeah,
was
publishing
blowing
paid
up.
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I yo, seeing how some of these people were getting paid had me like, oh, okay, publishing really hates black people. That's cool to know. Like
Hmm.
I was aghast because there was this one guy who like he had like one book, apparently didn't even do well. Like not even just in like terms of sales, but in terms of like what it was about, like he just I don't know, something very wild. But he got paid like close to $1 million for that one book, and it
Hmm.
wasn't even good according to a lot of the people that read it. So I'm just kind of like, okay, so you have the money, publishing. You do have the money. You just choose to give it to like random. Okay, that's cool. That's cute. That's real cute. Yeah,
And then we have our last one, reading with tea or reading with coffee.
reading with tea. Coffee is when I want to like work on writing. Like that's my
Mhm,
writing beverage.
mhm. Okay.
I'm a coffee all day person, but tea is definitely like a cozy. I like want to get like curled up in bed and
Mm,
with a book, so 100%
yeah.
uh understand that. And
Mhm.
I like tea. I'm more of a mint tea person, but I'm venturing off into like other flavors as well.
I've gotten really into hibiscus tea
Ooh,
lately.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's very good. Try it also iced. It's very good.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
I had a raspberry tea, and then I'll go into our last two questions. I had a raspberry tea, and I put it in like one of those REI mugs, and I think I let it either got too hot or it stayed too long. So now that mug permanently smells and tastes anything you put in it tastes like raspberry, and I'm like, oh man, that's
Huh.
very expensive. That was a
That's
very
wild.
expensive
I've never
mug.
heard of that. Hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those like insular thermos style types. And I was just like, man, this is upsetting. Um, I know that you had mentioned that you're shopping a middle grade book, you're working on a romantasy. Is there anything else that you're working on that you can tell us? Are you attending any more of these like book tours for um you should have been nicer to my mom or wherever else we can like see you either online or in person. I know that you recently did the Edgar Allan Poe thing, so
Yeah.
that was very exciting to hear about too.
I do have three, technically four more events. I have another virtual event tomorrow with Sista Sci-Fi. It's going to be, it's not that same, it's at 8 p.m. tomorrow, actually. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sista Sci-Fi's Instagram. Uh, this Saturday, I'm flying up to Ashland, Massachusetts for their Horror Fest. A lot of like really cool authors are going to be there, including Saratoga Schaefer and Joe Hill, apparently. I don't know how the hell we snagged him, but we did. So that's going to be this Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm going to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin, for what's it, oh, Slay the Lake, and it's going to be at the Final Girl Bar. It's just going to be a bunch of authors, including me, like selling our books, and I have a lot of stickers I also want to sell on the side, so I might just do that as well. So that's on April 18, and I do believe there is a cover charge to get into the bar. I don't recall how much exactly, but if you go on my website and look for the event, there should be like information like somewhere in one of those links. And then to end the tour will be I'll be in Bard Alley Books down in DC with Andrew Joseph White. I'll be talking about You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. He'll be talking about You Were Never Meant to Be Human because we both apparently chose sentences for our titles. But yeah, that'll be to end my entire tour. There's still like other events that'll happen throughout the year, but like this is what's like really part of the tour.
We're happy to be a stop on your book tour. Again, we really loved the book. We loved the characters. We loved the the drama of it all, but also like
Yeah.
a little bit of like the history and me personally, the revenge, because yes. So again, we just really love the book and we appreciate you having this conversation. And with that, we're going to have one last question. And this is the question that we ask all of our authors. And we are going to ask you to do a book talk, which is a 30-second to 1 minute elevator pitch about why everyone should check out You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. And we'll give you a second and you can start when you're ready.
Okay, let me give me a second. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom is for the haters, first and foremost. If you have family members that you want to throw hands with, but you can't fight, this is for you. It's all about how to get revenge on your people because they should know better. And no, we're not taking the high road. No, we're going directly to hell. They go low, we go direct. We show them the pathway to hell. This is for the haters. Pick it up if you want to like indulge in all of those like very nasty but very real emotions of sometimes your people fuck up and you want to collect their asses. That's who this is for.
That was perfect.
Snapping all the way.
That was, yes. Pick it up. You will not be disappointed. It's such a great read. And Teresa, you're going to take us home.
I am. If it does that, it soon lets me, and it doesn't. There we go. All right. So, yes, please make sure to get a copy of You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. It is available at your local bookstore and at your local library. It is out. It is a very enticing, perfect gothic horror for anyone who enjoys that genre or is looking to jump into that genre. This is the perfect book for you to pick up. But also take the time to get Vincent's other books. We have Burn Down, Rise Up, the award-winning book, We Don't Swim Here. Both of those titles are YA, and We Came to Welcome You. All three of these books you can get again at your local bookstore or at your local library. And also you can visit our website, Cup of Tea with That Book Please, which we will have the links, the purchase links for these titles. But we want to take the time to thank you, Vincent, so much for joining us this evening. As always, it's amazing talking with you. We could do this for like
Yes.
hours.
And thank you for
Yeah.
continuing to put up with our shenanigans, mine especially. But I feel like
Definitely heard.
Tabrija and I, being a pair, we feed off of each other quite well. So again, thank you so much for laughing with us, laughing at us, and we really hope we get to do this again with your romantasy book and hopefully your middle grade book. But anything you come out with, we promise to read and support.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time and joining us this evening. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and also subscribe to our website to look out for more upcoming events and podcast recordings. And also subscribe to the Tea and Book Chat podcasts. We're available wherever you get your podcasts, so you can listen to current and past episodes. So thank you, Vincent. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.